So, quick 5-minute sneak peek of what I wanted to talk about at the Big Data Science Fair on the 22nd. I'm considering basing this off a little bit of what my project is, which is the a sleep science study. Um, I was thinking, well, big data, we often use it in big, enormous data settings, data warehouses, and whatever. Um, but uh, at this point in our society, a typical person will be walking around with a smartphone that this my smartphone has 16 gigabytes of data capable of being stored on it. And some people have iPads that have 32 gigabytes that are just as mobile. So we have this mobile technology that's really a like an extension of us as a person. This is always in my pocket, always nearby. It shows who I talk to, what I do. It's a really good reflection of who I am as a person, and I don't think that uh, I think we're just entering the stage where mining this data, like I said, average person about 10 to 15 gigabytes of data in their pocket at any given time. And what are we doing with it? What can we learn about the people? What can we learn about people in general? So I think I'd like to talk about data mining in a mobile setting. Mobile data mining, a little bit of social media as well. I'll talk about the some things that are being planned, some things that are being looked at, and then maybe some questions that aren't being asked, and I'll try to think some that might have some interesting answers in terms of big data mining in a mobile setting. Um, so I guess my example would be sleep science. Let's suppose everybody in Boulder alone had this app and used it regularly. Uh, well, let's suppose everybody had it, and now 50% of the people use it regularly. Now we have now let's suppose you can get this data. Of course, this we have to talk about privacy and ethics. But let's suppose that of the 50% of the people that that use this app regularly, we can obtain the data. Then you can the um, the inference is that especially in sleep science where good sleep science is really hard to come by because it's not something that's easily done. You can't, you may go in for a couple nights for a sleep study, and they attach the electrodes to your brain, and you got a really, really rigorous scientific experiment. But in terms of people make many claims based on length of sleep, sleep debt, and many given things like that, and it leaves a lot of questions open because given a 2 or 3 day sleep study, how actually effective can you be when in comparison you can get months worth of sleep data from many different people, and the implications for data mining that is really powerful because data mining is I think one of the things that make data mining so good is the idea of crowdsourcing. Especially, I like the example of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. If you've never seen the show, it's a game show where contestants go on and they're asked trivial questions, and they're always multiple choice. There's 4 options, and they progressively get harder and with higher rewards. Where eventually the hardest question will yield a $1 million reward, and all the contestants are given 3 lifelines, and the lifelines include calling a friend, 50-50, where 2 of the choices are eliminated, and ask the audience. And inevitably, and I think every single time that it's ever happened, well, that's a bold claim, I can't possibly make that, but every time I've ever seen it happen, ask the audience is always correct. Always. Because crowdsourcing is really effective. We're really, really good as a unit, as a comprehensive unit, as at figuring out problems. So when I ask the question, what does 3 weeks of solid sleep do for somebody? Then we can take the data of 3 weeks of people who use it, mine into the ones that use it that get 8 hours of sleep every day, or possibly base it on a deep sleep percentage, and then we can look into those people's profiles and see who are these people, what do they do, are they really successful, etc. So if somebody, we may find that out of the 3 weeks of good sleep, these people are actually um, relatively lazy. You know, they don't have really busy lives. They just work 8 hours. They don't do much else, and then they go back and they have plenty of time to chill out, and then they just go to sleep because they don't have much else to do. And then conversely, they could be extremely productive people who are really focused on making sure they get their amount of sleep because they have a lot to do. So, you know, these are the types of questions. You can make the inference, you can make the hypothesis like that, but how can you possibly make a scientific, create a conclusive statement without actually having the research behind it? And I don't think the research in sleep science is very good. And the amount of data and the variety of data on a mobile phone is really big. You know, we always applaud Twitter because there's so much that you can learn, but it's all textual. Whereas the stuff that you can get on a mobile phone is really comprehensive, and you know, it's already in a pre-processed, usually a pre-processed data-specific format, depending on what we're talking about. Let's see. I was going to give one more example of crowdsourcing. Oh yeah, so another example. I like this one just because I think it's cool, and I'm really bad at doing it individually, which is a testament to how powerful crowdsourcing is, and data mining specifically. But whenever you are asked to find the number of jelly beans in a jar, the best possible way and the most accurate way is to get as many samples as you can. And by that I mean you walk around the room and you say, how many did you think there were? And somebody says 400. And then you ask another person and somebody says 100. And you keep going and going and going. And then you average everything that you get and you're almost guaranteed to win, which is kind of funny. And I guess that's another example of just the power of getting the inputs based on a lot of different people. And mobile phones have an incredible amount of information on them. And I think we just have to find out a way to harness it. So that's what I want to talk about at my science fair table thing. And goodbye.